Hello, YouTubers. This is the Anonymous Reality TV blogger. Hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Today I'm going to be reviewing Love Island Australia Season 3, Episode 20. And wow, OMG, what in the heck is going on with this show? There has been so much drama. Every time I think we're going to get a break, we're going to get some romance, we're going to get people loved up and happy. And, they say no. Straya says no. And they just keep their foot on our necks with more drama, more tears, more misunderstandings than we can keep track of. Oh my gosh. But first of all, can we stop with the first 5 minutes of a complete recap of the yesterday's show? A recap should only take a minute or two, and they spend the first 2 minutes doing that. Then they spend another 3 or 4 minutes basically showing you even more of what just happened the night before. Please make it stop. So we basically pick up, obviously with the replay at the end of the last argument that Aaron and Jess had got into on the swings, where Aaron basically just walks away because he wasn't making any progress with her. And so then as we transition to the new material that starts 6 minutes into the episode, 7 minutes in, basically Taylor is nervous to basically tell Ryan that, it's better for them to take a step back and just be friends. And basically she's been weirded out by all of the drama with him and Lexi and all of the red flags that were coming up, specifically with that drinking game in the last episode. So she builds up her courage to basically tell Ryan that, she's no longer feeling it and, just wants the two of them to be friends. So Ryan is just, taking it is what it is or whatever, and going from there. Next thing we have Aaron in the bedroom talking with the guys, basically saying, replaying kind of what Jess's issue was. And then he gave this weird look that wasn't even the look that he gave at the fire pit that Jess was alleging. But to be completely honest, the look that Aaron gave at the fire pit after the alleged wardrobe issue, he looked in outer space. He looked completely dazed and confused. It didn't even look like he was even listening or processing what Jess was even saying in that moment. He was in his own little world, probably from the chaos of that Post-it game. He wasn't all in, staring at the drama of, her wardrobe malfunction, and she just completely misinterpreted and blew this thing out of proportion. So they're relaying this to the guys, and it's just all bad. I feel so bad for Aaron because you could just tell that at this point is just deteriorating him. It is taking a toll on his mental health because he legit does not understand what the heck has happened. How have they literally gone 24 hours prior of going exclusive literally that morning, waking up in the hideaway and having all those beautiful moments together and things getting hot and heavy between them, to now a complete 180, and Jess just is not letting up on him and not giving him a chance to really explain his side, really explain his point of view and how he's interpreting what she's saying. It's like anytime Aaron tries to get in a word, Jess either misinterprets what he says or she completely just shuts him out. And it's just unfortunate. And so then we get to the nighttime routine of, our night camera vision of all the couples. And once again, it's Aaron and Jess back at it. It's the Aaron show. Aaron's the main character. Jess is the villain. Aaron is no longer in his villain era. He was not. Oh my gosh. I cannot. So they go to bed. And, Jess is already laying in bed. And this is before the lights go out. And so, he's like, can we talk? And she's like, yeah, we can talk. And, he's like, trying to reason with her, and he's like, you keep shutting me out. And she's like, did you just tell me to shut up? And he's like, no. He's like, I said you're shutting me out. So then he rolls over. Then when we get to the night vision cameras, then Jess has this epiphany and is like, yeah, I don't think we should do this anymore. And Aaron's like, are you freaking serious right now? And so, he just puts the cover over his head because he is just not trying to hear it. And so then this time of him like mumbling something under his breath or whispering something, he just mouths like MF her. And it is so funny because it's like he doesn't even want her to hear what he's actually having to say at this point, because she's just going to turn it around into something wild. And he's just over it. And I just felt so bad for him because I'm like, can you just listen to what he has to say? Like, you were totally in left field. You were doing too much to this man. And I don't know if she thinks that he's just going to take it. But this is too much. And this really goes back to what Taku was saying, how 1 minute things were going great with him and Jess, and then the next minute she completely gaslit him and then turned into a whole argument about him calling her sweetie or whatever, as like this inappropriate thing. And he was just done. He just completely checked out of, the Jess situation. So props to Taku on that. And speaking of Taku, the following morning, since we're getting no Taku and Michaela content, basically they're on the daybed the following morning. Taku is walking around in a robe like he's Hugh Hefner all day. I'm not sure what's going on. And so basically, he says that he likes where him and Michaela are at. Michaela says, we're definitely more than friends, but we're definitely not exclusive yet. We're kind of just, in the middle or whatever. So I'm still trying to gauge like what this thing is between Michaela and Taku, if it's really going to go the distance or if they're just going to amp it up a little bit until the show is over, since it's basically, only a few more weeks or what have you left. So we'll see what comes of that. And that is all the interaction that we got of Michaela and Taku, because they were immersed in other, drama. So then Jess is talking to the girls in the morning and telling the rest of the girls how her and Aaron got into this thing and how Aaron doesn't hear her and how Aaron is, making everything negative and making everything wrong and how she's completely checked out and she's just over it. And so all of the girls are just looking like, WTF, like what happened? Like, you guys were one of the stronger couples. Like, they just have this look on their face like, what is going on? And poor Aaron, he's just like moping around the following day. Like, he looks so over it. He looks all cried out like the night before. Even before he went to bed, like he had just started crying. He like shut the door and you just heard him crying. And I felt so bad for him because I'm like, he does not deserve this at all. Like, at all. And and it's just getting to the point where his emotions are taking over, and it's deteriorating him. Like, he's not even doing his hair. He doesn't even look like he did his eye routine with his eye creams and stuff. Like, he just looks like he is going through it. So still in the morning, he's explaining to Mitch everything that happened, and he's like, every time he tries to talk to Jess about the situation, it just gets worse. It just continues to escalate, and they're just driven further and further apart from each other, and he just doesn't even know what to do at this point. And so then there's like some cute moments, brief moments of Chris and Zoe, which is another couple that I feel we are getting no content from. So anyways, Chris basically gets a text and tells the group that they are having a pool party. So they have like these flaming glasses and some little fruity drinks and a bunch of little rubber duckies and things in the pool, little floaties, and everybody's just celebrating and having a good time. And so then, of course, none of these parties and none of these events never happen without there being a catch. So first things first, Zoe gets a text message basically from this guy who's named Hugh, who looks, actually, to be perfectly honest with you, he looks to me like Robin Thicke with a porn stash and a mullet. That's what he looks like to me. He looks like Robin Thicke with a mullet and a porn stash. That's because I was like, he looks familiar. And so basically, Zoe gets this notification, like basically a Tinder update that somebody did a super like. I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know what that means. But basically, I'm guessing it really means he really, really likes her or whatever and wants to go on a date with her. So Zoe basically pulls the girls aside, shows the girl, the super like or whatever, and then also shows they get to look at his profile. They see one picture with him with the mullet and one picture with him where he's completely clean shaven, and then a little bit about his profile. And so they're just like eating it all up. And then after that, the boys kind of disintegrate. And, the boys are asking Chris, how he feels about everything. And so even though Chris didn't say anything in front of the guys, in his diary room confessional, he looked stressed. And he was just hoping that, like, nothing, really materialized or anything. So I was trying to figure that out. And so then a weird moment that I don't know what happened, but, it showed Aaron and Jess like talking on the daybed, which was not a scene that we actually saw in the show, but we saw it like kind of in passing as Zoe was saying goodbye to the group to go on her date with Hugh. And so I'm a little confused by this because after that scene happened, real time in the show, they showed Aaron and Jess then talking on the bed, basically saying they've ignored each other all day. But I'm like, it just showed the two of you talking on the daybed. So which is it? What is the truth? What is going on? So that's why my spidey senses are going up. Like, what is the real tea on this situation? So anyways, Zoe meets up with Hugh and, they have like a hot flame, neon sign, and he's like over, pouring some champagne, and they just have like this nice little chat for a few. And, he was basically telling Zoe how pretty she is and how bubbly she is and how friendly she is and how he really wants to get to know her and everything. And, Zoe, she's just eating it up. She loves it. She is just so happy. She's in such a good mood. She's obviously not interested either. But she is totally, just being nice and friendly. And they had like a little bit of a dance. And, it was just nice because she was just cracking jokes, because you can tell that Zoe is just one of those people that has one of those infectious personalities that she's going to get along with any and everybody. Even if like you're the worst person in the world, she is going to still be her nice, friendly, bubbly self. And you just can't help but gravitate to that type of energy. And so, basically they just had like a little bit of small talk, but, Zoe, she's already gone off of Chris. So this was just like a formality at this point. But she was really welcoming to Hugh and really nice and really pleasant. So, but I could tell when Zoe didn't have on any makeup for this date that she was not serious about any of this, that she was just going. Basically, she was pulling a Marshawn Lynch, like, you know why I'm here. I am just here so I don't get fined, basically. So they did their little dance, and then Zoe twirled away, and, that was basically it, and the end of their date. And so, really immediately when Zoe got back, which was nice to see, is she just like immediately went up to Chris and kissed him. So, that just definitely like reassured things that they were solid. And Zoe pretty much said after all of the Casa Amor drama and all of the stuff that happened with Casa Amor, it pretty much just solidified that she's all in with Chris. And then her and Chris had like a nice chat. And it was actually kind of nice because normally you'll see on these types of things, whenever they pull the women for these dates, they either congregate back with all of the women and tell them all what happened. But Zoe went straight to her man, gave him a kiss, pulled him aside, and he's now sitting in the chair, rubbing her legs, kissing her. He is like all in. He's gone. And he's, then telling Zoe, I could see us together on the outside. I want to, I know my family's going to love meeting you, and I want to take you places on the outside. And they just kept having like these cute moments and these cute kisses and everything. And Mitch and Tina better watch out because Zoe and Chris are coming in to take the crown, to take first place. And honestly, they have my vote. They are so cute. They are so wholesome. They are so bubbly and friendly. They are the life of the party and the group. And it is just beautiful. And you could just tell that they're genuinely good people. So then after she debriefs on what happened on her date, next thing we have a text that goes off, and Jess for some reason thinks that it's her phone going off, but it isn't because nobody is trying to deal with the Hot Mess Express featuring Jess. Nobody wants to deal with that. So Camp Courtney, things are bad when Camp Courtney is getting, dates over Jess, but that's exactly what happened. She got a text to be the next one up for, Hugh, aka Robin Thicke with a mullet, to be the next person up for the little date, the little initial icebreaker. And so it shows Courtney basically getting ready for the date. And then it shows in the girls' dressing room that they basically have these bags of clothes and some little dresses and things that are like brand new with tags on them that they can wear for these dates. So, it's so funny because the announcer was making fun of Courtney because she basically was like strutting into this date like she was Naomi Campbell or something, but like her strut was just not strutting. It was just not moving the needle, but it was just cute and it was funny. And so Courtney's like fascinated with seeing somebody in person in a mullet because obviously that hasn't existed since like the 90s. So, and she probably wasn't even born like when that happened. So, needless to say, they, meet and have like a good conversation. And Courtney's basically, in the confessionals, like if he wants to get to know me, I'll get to know him and all this and that. And so Courtney's just doing her little Courtney isms of just like the giggling and just, listening to Hugh talk about what his last relationship was. And they just had like a really good time and just talking about dating and different things of that nature. Really, it wasn't really anything that was earth-shattering in their conversation. I actually was more intrigued by Zoe and Hugh's conversation, but maybe it's just because Zoe's personality and the way she's just able to, get really in there with people is really special to watch. So that was really it with the Courtney date. And, and so then they cut away to that to more Jess and Aaron drama. It's like, when does it stop? So remember earlier I had said that when Zoe left for her date, it showed Aaron and Jess talking on the daybed, but they kind of made it seem like then everybody was like paying attention to Zoe leaving. So they cut away from Courtney and Hugh, and then it's like Aaron and Jess, they're over by the water, and, he's asking her if they could just talk. So they go to the bedroom and they have a chat, and then he's saying that they've ignored each other all morning. And so, they're trying to talk again, and he's trying to get through and see, if there is anything that they can really salvage at this point, because things completely escalated and went completely left the night before. And, they're not communicating well. They're not listening. Jess has a problem with Aaron storming off and not telling her what's going on. But then when he does try to talk to her, she puts up her wall. So that's not effective communication. And then, he's telling her that, she was mugging him off. And it's really blown out of proportion to the point that he just doesn't know what to do. And he is so defeated in the confessionals. Like, he just looks like he's been crying all day. He looks miserable. He is just walking around all day like a lost puppy with like a hoodie on. Like, he didn't even comb his hair. He doesn't even look like he put on his eye cream for the day. Like, he just looks jacked. Like, he is just going through it. And so, the conversation still is not going well. And at this point with Jess, it's like she's not even trying to listen to Aaron anymore. Now she's just, full on gaslighting and full on manipulating the conversation and turning anything and everything Aaron says is like an issue. That everything that he says is a problem. Everything is offensive. Everything is just awful. And she doesn't want to hear him. And so, Aaron's all in his own head because he's like, WTF, like we had all these beautiful moments. We literally were just leaving the hideaway yesterday morning, and he was here looking for love, and he said he doesn't want to be in a relationship where everything just blows up like this, or something small completely escalates like this. And so, Jess keeps saying this is getting worse and worse. And so, Aaron's like, do you just want to give up? Do you just want to stop this? Because it's like, what the heck? What are they supposed to do at this point? And he's really just beside himself. Like, he can't even believe that this is just happening. And so basically, Jess tells him right now that basically he's giving her the ick, and that, they need to take a step back right now. And she doesn't even want to talk to him. And, this is just insane. And so Aaron's like, but I don't want to go through another day of this. Like, I can't do this all day. I can't do another night of this. And, Jess keeps saying, she's looking at him like he disgusts her. And, she's like, well, I just keep getting more and more upset, and this and that. And it's just bad. It is just extremely bad. So Aaron walks away. Aaron is just over it. He just can't believe it. He cannot believe that this is what this has come to. Because before, they were just on a high. Like, they just got rewarded the hideaway. They looked like they were going to be a front running couple to really, do something and, potentially win the show. Because people were starting to feel as though, a lot of people are saying they feel that Tina and Mitch peaked a little bit too early, and then with the obvious edit that producers are doing, and they do it on every single season of every franchise, there is always that one couple that the producers intentionally push. They may give you a little bit of drama, which was the whole Emily situation. But then right after that, they give the full winner edit to Mitch and Tina, as if we are supposed to be completely sold on them, and we're not allowed to like anybody else. Like, anybody else that we like, it's just not allowed. So then we get back, and, from here, Jess is telling Taylor how, she's upset with, how things went with Aaron. Aaron is just still struggling. I honestly think Aaron was just in the diary room all day. Like, I think he couldn't even physically stomach to be around people. And when he was around people, he was off by himself somewhere with his hoodie on and just ready to go. Because he was just not himself. He looked so despondent. He looked so unhappy. And it was just sad to watch. So then after that, they move forward with showing Courtney. Courtney's back from her date. And so Courtney, of course, pulls the girls first to talk about the date. She's not like Zoe, who's all booed up with Chris, who immediately pulls her man. No. Courtney wants to debrief the girls, but then pretend that she's not as excited as she truly was excited. For some reason, the men all of a sudden are working out, and it's like totally random, because it's like, somebody's coming in any moment, and you're just going to conveniently be lifting weights and flexing your muscles like you had all morning to do. But now all of a sudden that a new guy is coming, you just want to continue to flex even more. Oh, okay. And so then Noah comes over, and, he's trying to, play it cool. Like, he's not in his feelings or anything, and he's not worried. And so him and Courtney, they go to the bedroom and kind of have a chat. And so Courtney basically tells him not much happened. And he feels good about that. But I honestly don't believe Courtney. I think to an extent she likes Q, but I still think she's not over Nick. And I think that's the real tea. The real tea is she is not over Nick. However, she is going to try to make the best of whatever left of this is with Noah, and just keep pushing, and just at least be friendly to him so that they can have, a good crack at everything. And that's really all I see that's happening. So then after that, then there's a moment where like it shows all of the guys, they're like naked in the shower singing, and like just having like a random vocal session, and it was really random. And so then it shows the girls, kind of just sitting around, and then Lexi gets a text message that she's next for the date. So she's ecstatic. She's can't wait because she's like, obviously, things with her and Ryan blew up, so they're done. And then obviously things with her and Ben blew up, so they're done. So she just cannot wait to go on this date. So her and Hugh have this date, and Lexi's just excited. She's like, I'm all single. I'm not attached to the hip to anybody. Like, basically, I am ready to just, go out on a date. And she's just giggling away on this conversation with Hugh, aka Robin Thicke with the porn stash and a mullet. So she is ecstatic. And, they just have a good crack. And, of course, having some, champs and just really enjoying themselves and having a good time. And so then it is Lexi who then brings Hugh back to the villa. And it's just funny because it's always funny when you see the reaction of people whenever somebody new comes into the villa, and it is just hilarious. And so it was funny because like they brought Hugh back, and then all of the girls, of course, circled him and was grilling him and asking him questions, and then randomly, like the guys, three of the guys just like walk over. It's Aaron. Well, Aaron doesn't, I don't even think Aaron even realized what he was doing because he just doesn't care because he's ready to go. But it was Aaron, Ryan, and Mitch, and they had like their little protein shakes, and they just like did this like walk by, and it was like so obvious that they were trying to like make themselves be seen by the girls because they were like randomly shaking their protein shakes and conveniently walking by like within, their eyesight to see that they're obviously trying to check to see how the conversation with Hugh is going, to see if things are going well or if things are just not going, period. And so then Hugh conveniently mentions in the midst of getting to know the girls, he's like, yeah, Tina follows me on Instagram. And so, because Tina then says, yeah, I kept looking at you. She's like, I know you, but I don't know why I know you or where I know you from. And then she realizes it. And then Tina's like, in the confessional, she's like, well, that's great that I follow you, but you didn't follow me back. So obviously I know what that means. So I was just cracking up because I'm like, that's hilarious. That, he knows that because apparently they live close by to each other enough for her to follow him and like things, and he's still paying her dust. So that was it with that. And then after that, of course, we have like the gang getting ready for their nighttime activities. So everybody's getting like dressed up and stuff. And that's when you know who was serious and who wasn't, because Zoe and Courtney actually put on makeup for like the nighttime. So obviously they weren't as serious as they claimed with Hugh, but they were at least, giving him like a nice opportunity or whatever, since it was a date. So then after that, everybody gets together for a toast and they're dressed up clothes. And then, Hugh is just going full Hugh with like the unbuttoned shirt. And then Taku actually looked really nice. He had on these really nice glasses. He looked all studious and stuff. And he's just basically, smitten with Michaela that we don't see. Hugh basically says at this point he's narrowed things down from his 3 dates to just Courtney and Lexi, because pretty much Zoe's booed up. She's all in, and Chris, like, her head's not turning. So that's on that. And so then it just randomly shows Ben having, I forgot Ben was even still on the show at this point, but it shows like Ben having like a random talk with Noah to just see if like how Noah's doing with, Hugh and Courtney talking, and if he's worried about anything and this and that. And Noah's just, again, trying to play it cool or whatever. And then Lexi has a chat with Hugh. And, since she was already a bombshell before, she was just basically explaining to him that you're, going to be a homewrecker in some capacity, and just try to, take it all in stride. And so then after all of that, we have another Jess and Aaron hot mess express conversation at the fire pit. It's just never ending. It is never ending. Every time you see them together, you think, okay, this is going to be the conversation where things turn around. And once again, it is the conversation where things go to hell in a handbasket. So this time around, Aaron and Jess are at the fire pit, and they're basically like, why are we making this so complicated? Why can't we just have a basic conversation? Why can't we be on the same page and trying to communicate to each other what our feelings are, what our thoughts are? And it's just too much. And Aaron he has just had it. He's in the confessional again. Every time I try to talk to this girl, she shuts me out. Or then when I do talk, she's twisted around. And he's like, I just cannot make any progress. And he's just like, I just can't. This is just too much. And then just completely, escalates it. And it's like, well, maybe we need to start talking now with just a third party and just have a third party there every time we talk. And he's like, what in the heck? And he's like, I can't do this. He's like, I keep trying. And he's like, he obviously was fully invested and thought that they had something good, thought they had an amazing connection, thought that they were, all in on each other. And he just was, he's just over it. And so then he basically walks back to, the bedroom while Jess is looking like a villain, and she is totally laughing with the group, drinking wine. She just did not have this crazy conversation with Aaron where she's basically borderline calling him, basically saying she's scared to talk to him alone now, but there has to be somebody there. And so, then it cuts back to basically Aaron in the bedroom, and he is just looking at his phone. He's looking through old pictures of him and Jess, just wondering, what the heck? Why is he still here? Where did he go wrong? He cannot do another night of this craziness because it's just too much. It is way too much for anybody to be dealing with. And it's just been a terrible 2 days for him. And so, he is honestly just had it. He is just really checked out. So then from there, we circle back. It shows some of the group having a random talk about, their zodiac signs and this and that and how their personalities are. And so then I believe it's Tina that gets the text that basically says that, Hugh has to make his decision on who he wants to pick and for everybody to go to the fire pit. And I want to say prior to that, before the festivities, Ryan and Aaron did have a moment in the bedroom where they were just like, yeah, our ladies are just mad at us and nothing we say or do it's just gonna, work. But at least in Aaron's case, he is a legit reason to be upset. Ryan's case, Ryan brought this all on himself. He, all he had to do was just be a decent person. That's not hard to do, but he's just, I don't know. So, but you could just tell Aaron is drained. He just looks over it at the fire pit. What the heck is this? So then each of the Islanders, they each get these individual texts because Sophie apparently wasn't here for this. So they get their texts, obviously, when they just do these random things. And they're like, okay, Hugh, it's time to steal a girl. Get in front of the fire pit, tell all the other Islanders who you want to steal from and who you want to recouple with. So he's looking at the group and, basically, gives his little spiel and then basically ultimately says that he wants to recouple with Lexi. And, so Lexi's all excited because, obviously things blew up with Ryan, didn't work out. Things blew up with Ben, didn't work out. So the moment, literally when he sits down with Lexi after they recouple, Ben immediately gets a text and is like, hey, that leaves you single. It is time for you to go. You must now leave the island. And so everybody's looking like, what? And because everybody's just shook because pretty much the other bombshells, they've at least had 24 hours to really come in and make a decision and things. And literally, Hugh was maybe there, for maybe 10 or 12 hours. And then just all these fireworks just happened. So, basically, Ben standing up, he's saying his goodbyes, and then Aaron stands up. Aaron's like, well, wait a minute, I got something to say as well. Totally takes away from Ben's moment. Ben's trying to say goodbye to these people because he only has 30 minutes to pack. And Aaron, the main character, he's just like, listen, he's like, I got some things to say. It was totally hilarious. It totally took away from poor Ben. But Aaron gets in the front of the fire pit, in front of the Islanders, and basically says, how he loves everybody, how he's had an amazing journey, how it's been a roller coaster, how he's been BFFs with, Mitch and Ryan, and, how he's really close with Zoe, and that he's sorry, but he says he thinks that, he's done. He thinks his journey comes to the end. And so then it cuts to Jess, and she has like this mad look on her face, and she's like, Ryan, why are you doing this? And it's like, it's like, have you been, do you have amnesia of what happened last couple days? Like all the stuff that you've been saying to him and blowing him off and telling him, that you're done with him, that you have to have a third party when you talk to him and everything. And he's like, listen, Jess, he's like, we had something good. He's like, I thought we had something that was going to last. He said, but the past couple of days, he said he saw red flags. He saw things that he did not want to see in somebody that he wants to be with. And then he didn't like how it was making him feel. He didn't recognize himself. So then it has Taku's head down. It has Ryan and Mitch crying. And so basically, and it has Zoe breaking down, and Aaron said, he doesn't want to be a burden. He said he doesn't want to be somebody just moping around in the background in the villa. He said he doesn't want to bring down the energy in the villa. And he's like, he would just be ready, to just go. He said he loves everybody, but he feels like his time is up. And so, it's hilarious because Jess is completely shook, and she wasn't expecting this. She wasn't expecting all of her drama to literally push Aaron out the door. She didn't account for Aaron taking matters into his own hands, putting himself first, and removing himself physically from the villa because of her shenanigans. And so basically next time it looks like Aaron's leaving. He's like hugging the guys goodbye. And he's basically done. And so then from there, it's just hilarious because, out of nowhere, Jess appears, right? Jess appears and Aaron's trying to pack up and go. And Jess is like, why, what are you doing? I didn't know you were going to do this today. Why are you doing this to me? I don't want you to leave. And this and that. And Aaron is just like, what is going on? So obviously they left this as a cliffhanger on whether or not Aaron ultimately leaves. Spoiler alert, apparently on the after party, they had a poll that if Jess and Aaron could get back on the right track. And it's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean the right track? And so then on the after party, you would think since Aaron said he was leaving, that he would be on the show. But no, it was Ben and Nicholas. Ben, who just left the same night as Aaron was supposedly leaving, and he is not on this after show. So then they said they showed an exclusive clip that allegedly looks like Aaron may potentially be staying because I guess he was featured at the fire pit, voting with all the couples, because I'm guessing Sophie comes back to tell them the results of the Islanders that people liked and everything. And so, he's basically voting on what couple should go. So then after that, we get a thing for two new bombshells. One's a blonde, one's a brunette. And actually, if Aaron stays, I think this is perfect for him, because I am totally hoping that the blonde just goes full court press for him. I am hoping that's what happens because that's who Aaron likes. And hopefully Jess will snap out of whatever this is because she is on the chopping block. And so now I'm circling back because I'm wondering if she's just trying to convince Aaron to stay so that she doesn't get eliminated, or if she really finally realizes the magnitude of the stunt that she pulled and is going to basically have to grovel and beg for Aaron and to forgive her, so that they can get back on track. So I have no idea, like, what is to come of the two of them. I just know it was the hotmessexpress.com. I just know Aaron was at the point to where it took so much of a toll on him that, if he's not doing his skincare routine, if he's not combing his hair, if he is moping around in a hoodie all day, that he is just not right. And mind you, Aaron is somebody that I wanted gone from the beginning, that I was like, nope, Aaron can go. Don't like this guy. He could be the first male islander out of this piece. Now Aaron's my fave. Now Aaron's got me crying. Aaron's got me in my feelings because I'm like, what is going on? What is Jess doing? What is her problem? So that is everything that happened. I apologize. This is a lengthy video, but I definitely wanted to give you a lot of content to really fully break down everything that took place this episode, especially since, we have 3 days until we get the next episode of the aftermath of the JESS hotmessexpress.com special. And I wanted to just do you guys some due diligence, whether or not you had got to the episode yet. Please let me know your thoughts on what you guys thought of all of this. I know everybody is reeling on social media of, what the heck. And remember, she was the first female islander that everybody liked the most. And all of this shenanigans, like, what in the heck? So here we are. I think we have a couple weeks left of the show, but yeah, just let me know your thoughts, and I will talk to you guys soon, very, very soon.